I was robbed and someone broke into my office and stole over $12,000 worth of my gear. I just wanted to share the lessons that I learned from this experience and how it can actually help you become less stressed and probably find success a whole lot faster. So let's dive in. Welcome back, guys. Greg here. In this video, I'm going to tell a quick story, a little bit different from what I've been talking about. A few things you'll probably have noticed from the last handful of videos is I'm in a new place. This is a home office that I've been kind of creating for myself. I'm wearing glasses. If you could see my dog over there, he's wearing a cone on his head because he had surgery on his foot. Everyone's fine. This robbery, I don't know why I did air quotes. It was a real robbery. Was not in my house. It was in my other office, which was external, 2 miles away from my house. That had basically all of my studio gear, my cameras. I operated my business out of there and becoming more and more of a studio, while my home office was more of like doing like CEO work. And about 2.5 months ago, someone broke into the building that my office is in and broke then into my office inside of the building and stole a lot of gear. Within 24 hours, this person was caught and I got most of the gear back. Of the $12,000+ of gear, about 5,000 of it was either still missing or damaged, and still dealing with all of that, to be honest. So once that happened, and I got all my stuff back, I needed to bring it from where the police had it back to the office. And I was kind of in this position where I was about to embark on redesigning and reimagining the studio space, which I had been thinking about for a long time, but had been holding off because I didn't really know how I was going to do it. Did I need more gear? Did I need less gear? Blah, blah, blah. All of these problems are like privilege problems. But nonetheless, I had been like holding out. So all this stuff was stolen. And I really started thinking, do I even want to rebuild this? Would I rather just kind of keep my life simple and work from home? And I kind of just mulled on the decision for a while, like was paying rent, wasn't even going there because nothing was set up. Everything was in piles. I had to test all of the equipment. And I decided that I was going to move out and move back into my home office and just simplify everything. So I go into the building to tell the landlord, and he actually coincidentally decided to rent out the entire building to another business. So I was going to have to leave anyway. He was about to tell me that morning that I now need to be out. So kind of a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because I had been like creating a lot of anxiety over like, should I do this? Coming back to a home office, going to Limitless, all these stupid stories inside my head. Maybe you can relate. One of the big lessons I've learned over my life is that anxiety exists between the alternatives. And so I could stay there and build out the studio, or I can just simplify and come back to the home office. And the longer that I was letting that, not making a decision, the anxiety built and built and built. So anyway, I finally decided to go and decided to move everything back into here. And I'm actually still in the process of making that moving gear out and stuff and selling everything, most of the stuff. I'll keep a couple cameras and microphones and stuff like that, but I'm going to sell a lot of the gear because I had duplicates of a lot of things. And I really want to share 2 lessons from this, because this is not like a pity party. I have the ability to have this thing. I'm very grateful for it. But the first lesson was that anxiety exists between the alternatives. Maybe you're spending time worrying between doing this thing or that thing, and you just haven't decided. And that's created a lot of the anxiety. Should I fire that client? Should I take that client? Should I make this transition in my business? Should I not? Whatever the thing is, the longer you delay on making that decision, the more anxiety you're going to create. So the sooner you can make that decision, I think the sooner you're going to relieve yourself of that anxiety. That's the first lesson. The second lesson is that sometimes I think we hold ourselves hostage in a way where we feel like we can't achieve certain levels of success unless we have certain things. Like there were stories I was telling myself that, hey, if I want to build this business to, whatever millions of dollars and have it, be legitimate or whatever term you want to use, more professional, that I need to build out this studio. The reality is I don't need any of that. I was able to build a 7-figure business with a laptop and my iPad, and it didn't matter where I was. My team's all over the world right now. And so we didn't need everybody in one office. I didn't need a fancy, studio. It was all, I kind of wanted it. Part of me wanted it, part of me didn't. And right now I'm just going to honor the phase that I don't want it. And I'm going to just simplify as much of my business as possible. And I can't tell you how excited I am. So the second lesson is, if you feel like your success is being held back because you don't have XYZ tools or XYZ hasn't happened yet, you're wrong. you probably don't need most of those things. I look at some of my mentors who have high 7 and even 8-figure businesses. Some have even had 8-figure exits, and they all operate from mostly a laptop. Their team's remote all over. They don't have a lot of fancy things. They've kept their business simple because as they've gone up the ladder in their business, they've removed themselves from the day-to-day. They've removed themselves from marketing, sales, delivery. And if that's my goal, which it is, and I've moved myself out of a lot of things, I'm not involved in the sales process. I do oversee the sales team. I still lead strategy. We're low 7 figures, but the goal is for me to continue to build my team to manage those things. And so I'd rather divert those resources to them because they're going to be able to start running more of the show without me. And if I want to be the CEO, the owner, the investor, well, the types of activities that I'm really only going to be doing should be, building my team. And in order to build my team, I just need my laptop and a camera, which most laptops now have. And that's pretty much it. And so if you've been using not having certain tools or gear as an excuse to not build and, transform your business, I highly encourage you to just start simple. One of our sayings at our company is start simple, get ninja later. We started simple, we got ninja later. And in order to scale further, what I've learned is you actually now need to simplify again. You need to simplify to multiply. So I'm actually going through a process right now in my life and in my business where I just want less stuff. Less things to manage. I'm not going maybe full bore minimalist here for those of you that are, following along, but if I have less gear, if I don't have this external office, there's no should I work from the office today? Should I do this? Should I do that? There's just little tiny micro decisions that have, I think, made me slower the last couple of years having this external space. And the other piece is that my goal is to make my team bring their faces into the content, into the business more than it is right now, so that it's not all the Greg show, which it actually isn't on the behind the scenes. But sometimes it seems like that out on YouTube world and the internet. So if I can weaponize them with some gear, their content and their stuff will rise to a higher level. And I look at that from the perspective, if I'm over here in this studio making crazy looking high quality production, and then my team's all over the world, either they have to logistically fly them here so that their stuff meets my standard, or their stuff doesn't look as good. Well, why not? We all just work and operate with less because we actually just need less and go from there. So we've always wanted to be lean and mean. And, this whole being robbed thing really had me start looking at all of this gear as just stuff that is actually accumulated over time that I don't really need, and you don't either. You need your laptop, you need an internet connection, and maybe an iPad if you like to draw, but you can help your clients with very minimal. And again, some of my mentors, 7 and 8 figures, run those businesses really, really well with just a laptop and their phone. And my takeaway for you is if you've been feeling like you need all of these things to succeed, just know that you don't. If you are looking for permission, this is it. But just know that you don't need as much as you probably think you need to build a healthy, profitable, predictable business, whether that's high 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever. There's examples all around you of people that have done it with less. And when you do it with less, it creates less decisions, less headache, less obstacles. And hopefully you get to focus more on the things that matter, your content, showing up for your team and your clients, because that's really what's going to help you build a profitable and predictable business. So I hope this found you well, a little bit obviously different from the stuff that we've been sharing here on the channel, but I wanted to just share something that I've been going through and some lessons I've learned from it. Hope it serves you well. Keep rocking and rolling. And that's it. We'll see you in the next one.